It's me, one tip. Follow my tip every day. High conviction on Tip TV. A very good morning and welcome along to Tip TV. It's the sports show and a massive game tonight involving the old enemy. England are in action in Scotland at Celtic Park against Scotland in the big game. And delighted to say the panel of experts looking ahead to this big match is to the left of me, Mr. Chris Graham from We Love Betting. Good morning, Chris.
How you doing, Nigel?
I'm very well. I can't wait for the big game tonight. And we've got former Wimbledon and Tottenham central defender, Mr. Chris Perry.
Morning, Nigel.
Looking forward to the game?
I am looking forward to the game, yeah.
And I'm delighted to say, making his Tip TV debut, his former Scotland manager. I've managed a lot of teams up in north of the border, Mr. Alan McNee. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, nice to be here.
Alan, we'll start with you. Obviously, a lot of people will know of you up north, up in Scotland, but down here in England, not many people know about your career. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I started, you know, I mean, I was around about the 70s, was really my time playing in Scotland. I'm now currently the under-18 reserve team manager at Stenhousemuir, and that places me ideally to discuss, you know, what's going on with the Scottish football, from grassroots all the way to the very top. I mean, I played, oh God, I must have played, what, 500, 600 matches, and up in Scotland I must have played in front of a total of about at least 200 people, you know.
Big crowds then, big crowds.
Big crowds, aye.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to the victory tonight, is that right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're a great bet tonight, definitely.
Absolutely right.
Well, we'll come on to the betting in a minute, but obviously you're looking at this Scotland team. How good is this from previous?
Oh, it's a wonderful team. I think they're great the other night. A bit of passion, you know, a real bit of passion in the match. Unlike the English match, I have to say. You know, I mean, England, you know, wasn't it? The noise the other night with the Scotland match, you compare that to Wembley. It was like, you know, afternoon at the Emirates, wasn't it, at Wembley? Could have had a bloody pin drop.
Oh, no, it wasn't. you were up in Scotland.
I was in Glasgow. The whole city was just electric. I was in Edinburgh as well the previous day, and I think the whole country was just vibrating with glory at this particular match. Absolutely amazing.
And we're all, you know, we are sadly all still British, but for any of the English people going out there, I would just like to say, you know, we're all friends, you know, let's just enjoy. I mean, the food up there is to die for. It's all fried, it'll kill you. But enjoy yourselves up there, and you know, because it's a long journey back.
So here's a big game. We've got some betting action tonight. Bookmakers are anticipating a huge amount of betting on the game. Let's have a look at the odds. And Chris, I know you're surprised about these odds. England's favourites 11 to 10.
I was agog when I saw the odds, Nigel. Somebody asked me on Twitter on Friday night, as I was about 8 pints in after the result of Friday night, how would you price it up? And perhaps there was the alcohol taking effect, but I did have Scotland as very narrow favourites around the 6-4 mark, and England about 74. So I was absolutely stunned on Saturday morning when my hungover self looked at the odds and saw England at odds on in places. I just couldn't believe it. For me, it's the wrong price, Nigel. We'll talk about Scotland's wonderful CV in the last 18 months to prove why that 13-5 is just the wrong price. And England, as much as I admire them, I do admire them, I think they're too short here at 11 to 10.
Chris, I know we spoke about this off air. You know, we're Englishmen and we think that, you know, we'd like to back England, especially in big games like this, but really you wouldn't carry your money here at 11 to 10, would you?
No, I think it's a tough game. I think Scotland are obviously playing really well at the moment, full of confidence. They've had an extra day's rest after their win over the Republic of Ireland. You know, they're used to playing at Celtic Park and there'll be a really passionate crowd. I mean, this for Scotland is the big game. You know, they want to beat England over any other team, and I think England are going to go up there and maybe make a few changes, and you don't know which England team's going to turn up, and I think they'll struggle.
Well, hopefully, Alan, from your point of view, a better team that turned up on the weekend. No passion, no, you say. Do you like a little flutter?
I do like a wee flutter. I'm not so keen on these odds as you say, but I mean, I think, you know, to be honest, England will raise the game against the Scottish. You know, it's a rich tradition, that, the old enemy. And I mean, I was doing 1977 at Wembley. Wonderful experience. You know, I took a lot away from that, the crossbar and some of the grass. But you know, it is that kind of passionate game, and I think all these are going to go out the window. They're going to go right out the window, these odds, because I think, you know, England will raise the game to, you know, tepid, and Scotland, you know, I think they'll come we'll go all attacking, all attacking.
Well, I know you don't. That's sort of a kind of Football, you don't really like the All.
No, I don't like all that fancy, clancy, Englishy, winglishy, lavender scented, fancy football. I like it doing.
Yeah.
I like it doing.
Well, maybe the 8-1 about a 0-0 draw.
That's the sort of thing I'd like to see, you know, wishful thinking, the old double donut. That's what I'd like to see for tonight. A hard, boring score draw.
0-0 draw, 8-1. If you have a look at Gordon Strachan's manager, although he's, you know, you've been spoken on the show about it before. You know, you thought he's brought a lot of passion into the side. Only lost 1 in those last 10 games in Germany. What a record he's done.
Phenomenal. You know, I genuinely believe when he got appointed that he would turn things around, and that has proven to be the case. I think international management is all about it's man management. You're only there for a short period of time. It's about getting the best out of your players in that short space of time, gelling them together. You know, getting them believing in the same thing, and cliche after cliche here. And I think Strachan's a master of that. I think he's got a great CV to prove that. He did well at Southampton, took them to Europe, did well at Coventry, kept them in the Premier League. We saw how poor they've struggled since. And great at Celtic, got to the last 16 in the Champions League twice. Let's not forget that. The man, for me, is a quality manager, and he's becoming a bit of a Scottish legend.
Yeah, and
do you think, Chris, that playing at Celtic Park rather than playing at Hampden also adds to the atmosphere and really helps Scotland perform?
I do, Chris. I've been to Hampden a few times, and I'm not a big fan of the stadium. It's just a wee bit flat. And
I think running tracks generally don't help around the pitch today, and obviously Celtic Park, the fans are right on top of you, and I think it really helps with the atmosphere, and it's probably helped with the performances as well.
Definitely. I mean, we saw the atmosphere on Friday night was phenomenal. Celtic, and there's great Champions League midweeks as well. It's a great stadium for that kind of thing, and I think, you know, it feeds into beautifully for Tuesday night. It's more tonight.
I think that as an Englishman, I think the price are right. I totally agree with you. But obviously, Alan, from your point of view, Gordon Strachan got the job. I know you were overlooked for it. I don't know. If
I was overlooked for it. I was very, very angry about that. But I mean, I've known Gordon since you know, he was a youth. I say youth in those days. We didn't have youth. You just went from child to adult. None of this youth nonsense. One day you're a child, next day you're a fully grown adult. You know. But I've always liked him. Don't like his hair, wee bit poncy the hair, but you know, he's a good man manager. I always wanted Fergie. I always wanted Alec Ferguson, you know, because he's a true Scot, you know.
Well, he had a brief go, didn't he?
He had a brief go, heart of a lion, nose of a proboscis monkey, but I really think that, you know, he enjoyed the purple patch. That was just on his nose. But I would have liked to have seen Fergie take it up. Maybe too old now.
Well, also, I don't think the money's in the game anymore. You know, I mean, he's gone from Manchester United, he can do book launches.
Everyone's releasing a book now. Everyone's releasing a book. Anyway, you know, I mean, Joey Barton, I wouldn't trust him to release a fart properly, let alone a book.
Did anyone ask you about?
Well, not yet, but I'm happy to jot a few thoughts down. You know, most of it here actually. I've got so much. Yeah, some of my reminiscences. I'd like to commit those to paper at some point.
Well, let's have a look. Let's leave the price in. If you're going to have a bet here, Chris, what we're going to go for obviously you want to go for a Scotland win, but what any scores you like or anything else on that page?
With a win draw win, like you say, I mean, I think we're all agreed that Scotland can avoid defeat here. So you know, I think a draw is a good shout. But look, from a value point of view, I have to back Scotland at 13-5. I think it's the shout here. First goal scorers, two I picked. I think Johnny Russell will probably get a start tomorrow. He scored 4 in his last 3 for Derby. I think he's about 10-1, and Akechi Anya, if he plays, is 12-1. Just becoming a talisman for the Scotland team. Just a guy who I watch a wee bit of Football League, but he doesn't strike me as a phenomenal player for Watford. But when he puts on the Scotland jersey, Castle Milk boy as well, so Scottish in every sense. And I think 14-1 is a great shout.
Yeah, I think he struggled a little bit though against Seamus Coleman. I thought really marked him out of the game, and I think that him against Nathaniel Klein could be a really good battle. Klein likes to get forward, and the two of them are very, very quick. Could be very dynamic down that side of the pitch.
I would also think it's well worth putting some money on Henderson scoring for Scotland, you know, like he did the other night.
Yeah,
but,
good finish, wasn't it?
A great finish.
kind of goals.
That's my kind of goal, you know, a clumsy header into your own net. I like.
That's where you like. Okay, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, looking at more odds. The panel are going to stay here, and we're looking at some interesting. Alan's got some views. Will there be a red card? Will there be a penalty? Find out in soon.
现在你看 tip 检测。 My name is Nick the Moose Batsford, Commander-in-Chief, tiptv.co.uk. We're here 10 AM every day covering markets and sport, live from the heart of London, St Paul's. Purpose, making money through thought-provoking ideas. Strong conviction tips for short-term trading. As always, do not gamble with what you cannot afford to lose. You're watching Tip TV.
Hola, it's me, one tip. Follow my tip every day. High conviction on Tip TV.
Welcome back to the sports show here on Tip TV. The panel are still here. We're previewing the big one tonight, Scotland against England at Celtic Park. Chris Graham, Chris Perry and Alan McNee. Alan, obviously you've been to many big old enemy games between Scotland and England, old firm games as well. Is it the kind of place you want to take your other half?
Well, not my ex-wife Linda. She didn't go to the football with me terribly much. You know, when I played, she was a wonderful. She'd stay at home, you know, watch in front of World of Sport. She loved a bit of Dickie Davis in the afternoon. And to keep her company, the reserve team, reserve trainer used to come back and sit with her all afternoon. It was wonderful, you know. Very often I'd come back and she'd be, you know, having a lie down. And he'd sort of make himself scarce. Yeah, he understood it, you know, I'm back. But my current wife, Nata Powie, from the Philippines, I picked her up, it was off a website, but anyway, she's very keen on the football, and I'd like to introduce her legs all the way up to her armpits. It's a medical problem she's got. Hideous, really, but she'll be coming to the football tonight.
She'll be there?
Oh, aye. That's yeah. Didn't catch it.
Let's have a look at the special bets now. We've got some other bets other than the correct scores and the first goal scores. Now you can bet them now on a multitude of different things. Chris, talk us through this. Total goals. I know Alan, you'll be all over the under 2.5 goals. We see you don't like your football being high scoring. Under 2.5 goals, 4 to 6. What do you think that's the kind of game we're going to see tonight?
Well, you think these sides obviously played in August last year. It was 2-2, a fantastic game, 4 goals in that. But my gut feel initially
3-2, I think it was 3-2.
3-2.
I think England did actually win.
You forget the England wins, doesn't it?
That's
Ricky Lambert, powerful header.
Let's not get bogged down in the detail.
Let's not bicker here, definitely. So my gut feel was under 2.5 because Scotland not conceded at home for 14 months. Really great defence, but I think over 2.5 is probably the value at 11 to 10. I probably would have put under 2.5 a wee bit short on that. So for a value point of view, I think over 2.5 is the bet here. Bearing in mind that these players could play a lot of freedom, you know. You know, England players, I don't think some of them will be completely up for it. And I genuinely believe as well, and this might be a controversial point, that the Scottish players, some of them will not be as high as a kite as you might suspect. Certainly not for 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I think, well, personally as a Scottish fan, I'd much rather beat Gibraltar in March than win this game tomorrow. I mean,
what do you think about that as a fellow?
No, I'd like to beat the old enemy. I mean, I remember the games, hard games they used to. I mean, I remember Jimmy McBride, when they played Hampden against England, you know, in the late 60s, went in, his whole leg came off, and he carried on playing on the one stamp because they were. You know, Jock McAdam. Yeah. His head fell off during a match at Celtic Park. And he carried on playing hard games. So I think, you know, I think that's still there, that passion.
Well, let's have a look at Chris. I mean, the passion there. You playing in some real high North London derbies and big games as well. Do you think this will be as passionate as Alan's thinking, or do you think that it could be sort of not so passionate as Chris is coming up?
I think certainly there'll be a lot of passion off the pitch. Without a doubt, the fans will be extremely passionate from both sets. I think I can understand where Chris is coming from a little bit about the players. I mean, a lot of the Scottish players maybe have playing England now and will know a lot of the England players and that sort of thing. And so does that take a little bit of the sting out of it? I'm not sure, but I think the fans will get Scotland up for it, and certainly Gordon Strachan will, and they will be firing on all cylinders tonight.
How would you motivate this Scotland team coming out to this game against England tonight?
I tell you what I'd do. I'd get a big portrait of an Englishy, wingishly, lily white southern ponce, and I'd hold it up and I'd say, beat that. And that's all I'd have to do, you know.
Yes, well, that might get ready. But this brings in the bookings. I mean, this is an interesting one. Will there be a sending off tonight? Now,
oh, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I can but hope.
Yeah, well, it's set 9-4, so bigger than 2-1 that we do see a red card
right
tonight. You know, how many games and what disciplinary records you've seen over the years? You must think this could be a bet.
Well, I suppose it is, really. I'd like to see some mindless violence on the pitch tonight is what I'm really after. I don't think, you know, I mean, it doesn't take much for the England players to pretend they've been fouled, let's put it that way, you know. I mean, Wayne Rooney the other night, that penalty against that, it wasn't so much a dive, it was a pratfall, it was like Norman Wisdom, wasn't it? You know. So, you know, I'd like to see him sent off for that, or, you know, I think that we may see a sending off tonight because it's going to be that sort of game, you know. 9-4
you can get for your money, 1-3 no sending offs. The bookings, very difficult one for the bookies to decide. Under 3 bookings is 7-4, over 4.5 bookings is 7-4, and 3-4 bookings is 7-4. So bookies really saying that it's a sort of an average standard game, isn't it, really, as far as they're concerned?
I think that assumption's correct. I mean, I think, you know, everyone's expecting, you know, it's a rock and roll fixture that we've seen in the 70s and 80s. Right. I do think the world has changed, I really do. And just to clarify my Gibraltar comment, what I mean was really, I'd much rather win a qualifying match than...
Well, that's important. Yeah,
that's much more important.
So do you think, well, I'm going to ask you the two, Scott, do you think you're going to qualify for Euro 2016?
You know what, I just think we'll get another heartbreaking narrow loss. I really, it's such a tight group. Poland winning 4-0 in Georgia was a cutting blow on Friday night. It really was. I thought they dropped points there. We lost there in 2007, and I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped points in Georgia as well. I can see us finishing 3rd or 4th, getting to the playoffs, finishing 3rd, and then lose. It's just a really tough group, you know. I wish we had England's group.
Well, that's right. And yourself, Alan, do you think that we'll be?
I hope we don't qualify, right. Because it would be uniquely Scottish, as Chris says, for us to all be, you know, plucky losers. Right. So I don't want to qualify. No. I want to be crying into my beer. Yeah. In that Scottish way. That's what I want.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to ask before the panel goes, we want a correct score for the game and probably your best bet. What's your correct score on the bet, Chris?
The best bet for value point of view, Scotland to win. I'll go for a 2-1 Scotland win.
2-1 Scotland, Chris?
I'm going to go 1 each.
1-0, Alan?
Oh dear, I think 2-0 Scotland.
2-0 Scotland wins.
2-0 Scotland.
Well, I think it'll be a draw. One thing we all agree with is that England should never be the price they should be. They're far too short tonight. This is the best Scotland side I can see for a long, long time. Only 1 loss in 10 matches. That was against the world champions. This is a tough game for England, and we don't think they're going to win the points to get the win they need. And the passion may have been gone. There's passion around here.
Oh, absolutely.
Passion around here. Thank you very much, Chris, for coming in. Nice. Obviously, Chris Perry and Alan McNee, thank you very much for joining us here on Tip TV. And I'm sure good luck with the development squad.
They're coming on very well.
Any players there we need to keep an eye on?
No, they'll all be staying in Scotland.
Okay, that's been a Tip TV Sports Show. Have a good day. Good luck tonight if you can have a bet. And we'll see you all again same time.
Come on, Scotland!